Let's talk a little about your journey of faith to faith in Jesus. And so, was it a kind of gradual process? Was it a very dramatic, like one-time moment where you didn't believe, then you did come to believe? And so, yeah, talk to us more about your faith journey.
I'll go first on this one. I think, yeah, for me, I was fortunate enough that I grew up with a family that big Catholic Italian family, so we were busy we went to church every Sunday. God was a big part in my life very early on in life, and I was fortunate to have a really good foundation, knowing God from a very early age, believing in God, following God, going to church every Sunday. So I would say for me it was definitely more of a gradual process. Never was really not a believer, always had my faith, always believed in God. And then as I got older, specifically when I met Lexi, I think she kind of changed the trajectory for me as far as I always knew God, I always believed in God, but I never seen somebody, like when I met her, she was just on fire for Jesus, like nobody I'd ever seen. And I was like, man, it's so cool. Like every conversation we had, we'd talk on the phone till 3 a.m. every night, and it was always about Jesus, about the Bible. We were reading, we were doing certain things, and just, I think she kind of ignited that flame for me again, to where there was never a moment where I didn't believe in God, but I wasn't always necessarily living for God, and every decision was for God. And I think when I met her, she kind of lit that fire for me.
That's great. That's great.
I'm going to try not to cry.
Yeah, real quick. That's what marriage should be, bringing out the best in each other. And so I love that. Sorry.
And for me, it was the complete opposite. So that's why I was that way with him when I met him. I didn't grow up going to church, and I didn't really have any type of relationship with God. I actually didn't think he was real. Like I said earlier before Jake got on stage, marriage was my God. So for me, God was getting married, having kids, and like that was the answer to life. I always, like my parents said, bedtime prayers over me, and what is the one, like, now I lay me down to sleep. We did that every night. So definitely God was brought up in our house and everything like that. We just busy in life, you know, like most people, it wasn't everything to us. And so when I was in my young adult life and I was wanting marriage and kids, I went to church a couple times, and it didn't really click with me until something did click with me, and then it was over. And I went full force. And so then I was currently dating someone. I broke up with them in the moment, like right away. And I just went crazy, and I was reading my Bible all day, every day. I didn't care about anything or anybody. I basically walked away from my entire life and was all about Jesus. And then when I met Jake, I was just kind of like, I don't know who you are, but you know, I love Jesus. If you want to love him with me, you're more than welcome to. If you don't, you need to get far away from me, because one-track mind right now. And he was like, I don't want to get married. I just made it to the big leagues. I was like, that's fine. I'm looking for friends. I'm not looking for anything. I'm just like, Jesus, you know. So
I love it. I love it. I love it. Advice that we would give people looking for relationships sometimes is run as hard as you can for Christ, and then the right person they'll be running in the same direction, the same speed.
right, that was Jake.
Yeah,
He was
great.
definitely like, all right, I gotta start running.
Gotta start running. Gotta start running. There you go.
This girl's asking hard questions.
I love it. And I also love how, like, there's different stories. We all have our unique story of how God works in our life. For some people, it's a foundation that gets built upon over years, and some people, it's this dramatic moment. And
right, and we help each
it.
other in that way, because our story is so different that I can have the view of like, why, if they know him, why aren't they just like, and he's like, babe, because it's different for everybody, and then when I'm around and he's around someone who's just like, wow, like he's like, oh my gosh, it's so much. I'm like, well, babe, they just met him, like, and they're adults, like,
That's so cool. That's so cool.